The 90s were a wild time for movies. We'd largely moved on from the over the top action movie blitz of the 80s and sort of said goodbye to the slasher kings of horror movies. Instead, the 90s was the decade of spectacle on the silver screen. Movies like Terminator 2, Independence Day, and Speed, as well as some all time animated fan favorites like The Lion King and Aladdin, dominated box office earnings. Even among the giants of the early 90s box office titans, one film captivated audiences worldwide and has refused to relinquish its stranglehold on our collective imaginations since. Of course, I'm talking about the original Jurassic Park. But a lot has changed in the 30 odd years since Jurassic Park first trampled the box office. Today I saw Jurassic World Rebirth in theaters, and I brought my 9-year-old with me to see if it captured him the same way Jurassic Park captured me way back when. We got lots of questions to answer. Has the concept of genetically modified dinosaurs run its course in a world full of other, more modern sci-fi ideas like AI? Did bringing on a new cast of characters to replace the replacements from the Jurassic World trilogy help any? Will Jeff Goldblum say the thing? You know the line I'm talking about.
But life finds a way.
First things first, I should probably get the paper-thin plot out of the way, because man, it was sliced thinner than an emergency department turkey sandwich. After a quick set of titles that does to Jurassic World Dominion what Rise of Skywalker did to The Last Jedi, but seriously, it's like the entire production must have realized how stupid of an idea it was to think that people would just accept dinosaurs living among them. Present day, in cities, in a non-dystopian setting. Anyway, Jurassic World Rebirth is fairly straightforward. Not Carter Burke hires the real Black Widow, still not Blade, and Wish.com Dr. Alan Grant to do illegal mercenary crap with Dario Naharis version 1. Mercenary crap like obtaining tissue samples from 3 Colossus dinosaurs in the wild, on the last place on Earth they exist, a tropical belt around the equator. Thing is, every government in the world has declared that belt a no-travel zone. Along the way, they rescue a family of shipwrecked sailboaters whose names I can't remember, because with the exception of the douchebag-turned-hero boyfriend, I don't think they ever bothered naming. Dino shenanigans ensue, the group is separated right on cue, plot armor protects exactly the characters you think it would, karma slaps exactly who you think it should, and literally nothing interesting happens for 2 hours. And that's it. That's Jurassic World Rebirth. It's been a while since I've been this bored at a movie, but here we are. The question is why, though? How could a movie about dinosaurs running amok fail to move the needle in my dino geek brain anymore? After a short car drive home, I think I've come up with a few reasons. Number 1, at the end of the day, if you've seen Jurassic Park, or any of the dozens of sci-fi channel ripoffs it's inspired, you've seen Rebirth. It's still the same old story of X group of people stuck at Y location and need to escape Z new scary dinosaur. Even the reason for going to Dino Island in this movie feels tired. Not Carter Burke wants tissue samples so his totally not Umbrella Corporation can make a drug that will eliminate heart disease. They try to make this resonate harder in the film by tying it back to Black Widow's mother, who died of the condition sometime earlier, but it somehow still feels trite despite their best efforts to humanize the connection. And I get it. We've done clone dinos for theme parks, weaponized dinos for the black market, people stranded at Site B Labs, and now we're back to new clone dinos for theme parks in this recent trilogy. For the love of God, there's got to be at least one more unique premise hiding out there we could hit on. I'm down for anything at this point that doesn't feel like a 90% retread. Anything except dinos in space.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Which brings me to reason number 2. Jurassic Park was originally about a group of people stuck on an island, each one with unique backgrounds and motivations. The last few Jurassic movies have felt tedious and overwritten, with interpersonal drama that's about as interesting as B-roll footage from Ironheart. Too many characters in Rebirth have haunted backstories that are never really followed up on, at least in any way that adds any emotional weight when we finally find the characters in danger. In addition to Black Widow's mom dying, we learn that Not Blade lost a son. It's never explained how or when the boy died, only that it left him understandably scarred. The problem is that's never really capitalized on. Not Blade never finds a surrogate to protect from the dangers of the island, and neither he nor Black Widow make the big hero play with any meaningful consequences. In the end, it just makes for a story with less flavor than unbuttered noodles. I get it, you can't have a dino running amok movie without a certain degree of letting the plot happen. But Rebirth goes to the well one too many times, including in the finale, which I won't spoil, but just know going in that you'll be required to sign over all of your suspension of disbelief. I get that the cute kid character was never in any real danger, but that kid always had 3 perfectly nutritious adults with him. Surely one of them could have been munchified. And the dad, who audibly broke his leg early in the film, randomly recovered from and then resustained that injury as demanded by the plot. We also get people falling off of mountains with no injuries, then people reappearing behind them after taking the stairs and rappelling down into open space. Seriously, you gotta see that one part. I actually laughed. But maybe most egregious was the lack of weight any of the Thunder Lizards had. Literal weight. There were far too many scenes where animals that weighed thousands of pounds moved silently or vanished altogether in seconds like they'd activated a cloaking device. Remember the abject terror of watching the T-Rex dino handle that custom Jurassic Park Ford Explorer in Part 1? Remember the tension and the rush of it chasing the heroes as they fled in the Jeep? Yeah, in this one you get a low-speed inflatable boat escape that somehow the T-Rex loses. Seriously, it was almost as embarrassing as the Skittle Squad on the hover bikes from the Obi-Wan series. I've been fairly negative on Jurassic World Rebirth, but I'll give them a little credit where the credit is due. I did enjoy the mutated dino designs, though they were a bit few and far between. The Mutodon, the flying ones, and the D-Rex, the big-ass ugly one from the trailers, did provide intimidating new threats. But outside of that, there really wasn't much to sink your teeth into. The performances were also fine all around. No over-the-top goon villain, for the most part. No precocious, know-it-all little kids. No superpowered girl bosses. Yes, Scarlett Johansson led the Merc team, but she got tossed around enough and never showed up any of the fellas. Some of the dialogue was stilted, especially early on, but Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and the rest did what they could with the material they were handed, and it was fine. They surprisingly also didn't go all in on the member berries this time around, and I can't help but wonder if that's yet another bit of note that they took from the failure of the previous film, where people thought the member berries were loaded on way too thick. There was a closer-than-they-appear mirror joke and a single reference to Alan Grant, and that was it. But maybe that's the problem with this movie, and probably my saddest takeaway. Rebirth states explicitly that the world has moved on from dinosaurs, that it's gotten over them. That couldn't have cut 13-year-old Winterwolf any deeper. A world that's lost its fascination with monstrous creatures who ruled the planet hundreds of millions of years ago feels like one dangerously close to losing the sense of wonder that fuels new and exciting thinking and energized creativity. It reeks of cynicism and ends in the kind of nihilistic media offering that too often dominates our screens. I think the world deserves better than Jurassic Park 7, Jurassic World 4 Rebirth, but I also think we'd best remember who we brought to the dance in the first place. When the credits finally rolled, most people in the unfilled theater we were in, caveat, it was Wednesday at 11:45 a.m. in a premium format, did applaud. Little kids did leave excited and jibber-jabbering at their parents about the scary Ugosaurus Rex. Maybe there's hope after all. Maybe one of those kids will grow up and write the next great killer dinosaur book, or direct a movie that gets dinosaur lovers of all ages to the edges of their seats. Maybe that's enough. I just hope I don't have to wait 600 million years to see it.